Hi everyone. Okay, so at the bottom of the deck is the Four of Swords, and this is a card that comes up when we need to learn how to calm the mind, shut off the obsessive thinking or the worry or the anxiety, and learn to. It's often seen as a card of meditation, of recuperation, and things like that. So it's learning to manage really our mental activity and how if we spend a lot of time worrying about things, agonizing over things, trying to, um, worry a solution into being or deal with a situation through just worry and obsession. It just zaps so much energy, and we all deal with that, and it's like a incredibly difficult it's human nature, and it's very difficult to deal with. But um, I really do believe we can train our brains. I can be like this to this day, but it was something I would just have so much anxiety and worry about things. I wouldn't sleep, and I would just waste a tremendous amount of energy and make myself miserable, really worrying about, honestly, a lot of times stupid stuff that doesn't even matter, stuff that happened in the past, things I have no control over. And I just wasted a tremendous amount of time and energy um, with things like that. And it really took consciously, I think Eckhart Tolle's A New Earth really helped me. And just every time I would start to worry about something, it was like recognize it and think about something else. Recognize, and it was like, I mean, to this day, it's exhausting. It's like, I have a friend, and this always helps too because it makes me laugh. He would be like, let it go, Jen, like a fart in the wind. So whenever I find myself worrying and obsessing about things, I hear Mark in my head saying, let it go, Jen, like a fart in the wind. And it kind of shakes me a little bit and it makes me giggle. And it's like, okay, deep breath and let it go. So this week it's like really be mindful of your thoughts and the things you're wasting energy on, and see if there are tricks and tips, and I'm sure there's a million things you can find on YouTube and online to help be more mindful of your thoughts and have them be more productive and more positive. Because we can obsess about positive things just as much as we can obsess about negative things. We're just trained for whatever reason, from the beginning to worry about things. I don't know if it's like our fight or flight reflex becoming more advanced into perseverating on things. I don't know exactly why we do that, but it can cause a lot of unnecessary stress and worry. We have some beautiful cards here. So I think with this Four of Swords underlying, saying like there needs to be break, there needs to be a timeout, there needs to be a let it go, let it go, let it go. Take your hands off and just stop. It's So we have the Six of Swords, and this is kind of exactly that. This is thoughtfully saying, I am removing myself from this situation that is causing me emotional or mental pain or exhaustion, abuse, is not healthy for me. It's just not working for me anymore. It's causing more harm than good, and I need to do something. I need to physically, mentally, thoughtfully, purposefully remove myself from this situation. And that can be, again, physically getting a different job, getting out of a relationship, letting go of a friendship, stop going to this place where these people that, don't treat you well, change your kids' daycare. It can be anything like that, but it's like something is not working and you're just hanging on to negativity and drama by staying in this situation. And don't get me wrong, I know there are some situations where you really feel stuck, but it's time to realize you can manifest whatever you want. It's time to take practical action to bring into your life situations you do want, and focus on bringing those in and manifesting those, and letting go of focusing and worrying on the things you don't want. You see that shift in how you're thinking, and like, okay, I'm not happy in this job. What job? Instead of going, my boss sucks, my coworkers suck, the commute sucks, the parking sucks, the hours suck, everything's negative. It's like, well, what job would make me happy? What can I do that can make my commute better? Can I just let go of some situations and not focus and get involved in office gossip? Can I, what are the things you can control and you can do? And then if it's just, I just needed this job for the money, my heart's not in it. Is there a way to manifest a job that your heart's in? Things like that. The magician is saying you can do it. You can make it happen. And I think it's probably more mental and emotional. We get attached to the things we know. What's that? The devil, I always screw up sayings. The devil you know versus the devil you don't, or whatever. We perceive, even if we're super unhappy where we are, we perceive change as being scarier than staying in an abusive or extremely negative or difficult position. So when the moon shows up, it does say, like, we're just having trouble figuring out, and this is, I think, what the obsessing is about, like, why is this person treating me this way? Why is this situation this way? Why, and sometimes we're trying to make sense out of things that are not logical because other people's mental health is involved. And, some people just have issues. And it's not logical, and you can't reason with them. And so if you continue to try to do the same thing over and over again, thinking you're going to fix a situation that is not fixable because it's not you. We can only control ourselves. And you're just like, why is this happening to me? We can, again, get caught up in an unproductive place. And sometimes, we feel like we just have so much going on and we're juggling so much. It's like, I don't have time to find a new job. If I get out of this relationship, what am I going to do? Where am I going to live? It's like a lot of just like, I can't, how am I going to deal with all of this? I can, and it's a great excuse for not dealing with things. There are rough waters, water is emotion. There are stormy seas out here, but there are ships coming in. There are options. Juggling finances, juggling resources. Some of you may have more than one job, and that's tough. That's exhausting. We end here with the Page of Swords, and this is a new beginning, a new way of thinking. This is getting the aha that, like, this isn't sustainable. I can't do this anymore. I need to find it. I need to act on an alternative and find a different solution than doing the same thing over and over again, bitching about the same thing over and over again, and expecting somehow this time they're going to hear me. This time it's going to change. This time, this thing is going to have a different result. And a lot of us are going to have to, learn to speak up constructively and effectively, which is going to be really hard, because sometimes maybe the situation is going on because you do a lot of obsessing in your head and bitching about the situation to people who aren't really involved. But have you had the tough conversation with the person or the situation or the whatever it is you're dealing with? Have you actually had that hard conversation and expressed your thoughts, concerns, feelings about the situation to the person that could potentially do it? Now, if you have, you may get your answer, and you have to accept the answer you get. And if the answer is not what you want, you need to accept that and understand, okay, move on. It's time to move on. I can't influence this situation anymore, but I can influence myself and what I want to manifest in my life. And if I've communicated my needs, my thoughts, my desires, and it's still not working out for my higher good, then you can manifest it. You have to manifest it in a different way. Put yourself out there. If you're interested in bringing love into your life, online dating, this is a card of like, electronic communication as well as any other kind of communication, putting yourself out there, asking someone out, messages, putting resumes out there, talking, networking with people, letting people know you're interested in, a new position, looking to get into a new living situation. Maybe you're interested in moving, whatever. Just start doing some research, put yourself out there, network, things like that. I neglected to read this card. So the Ten of Cups is a very beautiful, positive card, but it's a card that really asks you, what is your happily ever after? I mean, they have this sort of vomit-inducing castle fairy tale, here's my prince and our children were going to live in a castle. It's like a little bit like, oh, okay, come on. Unless you're Kate Middleton, that's just not going to happen. So is this really the happily ever, like, is this your happily ever after? Maybe your happily ever after doesn't involve kids. Maybe you want to travel and you want a tiny house, or you want to be able to, you don't want to be house poor because you have other things. So you don't want a giant house. You want to downsize. You want to be able to have money to do things. Maybe you don't want to get married. Maybe you want to live alone. You know what I mean? So you really have to think, okay, am I judging my happiness on standards that have been told to me, or what do I think is my happily ever after? What will make me happy? What is my fantasy outcome? And it could be this, which is fine, but it's something to really think about. Like, what do I really want? And do I really want that? Or was that just what I was brought up to think I wanted? Like, it's okay to really question those things and think about where you want to go from here. What is sucking up your mental energy this week, and to think, okay, I'm spending a lot of time worrying about this. I need to think about this. How am I handling it? How am I approaching it? Have I communicated my needs? And is it time to just move on? All right. Well, thank you for joining me. Take care.